Police across the country are warning of a growing threat of so-called sextortion following a mass shift to the online world. This is where criminals threaten to post sexual images of a victim unless they are given money. BC's Attorney General has tabled a new bill to protect people whose intimate images have been shared online without their consent. Nikki Sharma says the Intimate Images Protection Act would create new legal rights to allow victims to halt the distribution of their intimate images and to seek compensation for harms caused. However, cases of sextortion have been reported across the country. Privacy lawyer Molly Reynolds says she has seen a substantial uptick in her civil caseload on sexual extortion. Well, joining us now to give us more insight into this issue and what can be done about it is Miss Molly Reynolds herself, partner at Torys LLP. Miss Reynolds, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you.
So as we mentioned, you noticed an increase in your caseload for sextortion cases. Can you tell us a little bit more about the demographics of these cases and any patterns that you may have noticed?
Yes, I mean, certainly we are seeing younger people, predominantly women, who are victims of this type of extortion and related crime. Oftentimes they are, middle class, cisgendered women. I think largely that's because they're the ones who know to reach out for help, not necessarily because they're the ones that are the most affected, though.
And there is a rising concern around sextortion cases involving youth in particular. What do we know so far about this? Can you tell us a little bit more about youth cases?
It is certainly prevalent, it has been prevalent for many years. And I think on the one hand, it's getting worse. On the other hand, we're also just getting more data about exactly what has been happening and those continued increases. As I say, unfortunately, the ages are skewing much younger. And oftentimes, the damage that is done is really increasing because so many people have access to this type of content about a victim. And you may actually have multiple people who are extorting the same person.
And I know you mentioned women earlier, but can you tell us a little bit more about adult cases of sextortion? What do cases involving adults look like in Canada?
It is a little bit different from youth. We don't have the same concerns, for example, about whether their parents are going to find out and whether that's actually a mechanism for extortion. But we do see really troubling concerns with people's Google results for their names coming up with results that have their intimate images or derogatory posts about them as part of those extortion schemes. And unfortunately, we do see victims losing jobs or potential employment opportunities because their online reputations have been harmed through these types of posts.
And how does the legal system handle cases involving sextortion of youth compared to adults?
Well, on the one hand, there's the criminal justice angle, and it is easier to get police attention to youth cases. There are existing child pornography laws that can be leveraged, whether that's to take down the material or actually find the perpetrators. By no means do police have all the resources to deal with all youth cases, but they do have a little bit more. With adults, it's much harder to get police resource attention. And oftentimes they have to then look to civil law options, which unfortunately take many years and can be extremely draining and re traumatizing for those victims.
Interesting to learn that there are some sort of gaps when it comes to care for adults who are facing sextortion. I want to jump to the proposed Intimate Images Protection Act in BC. Can you tell us a little bit more about this act and how it could better protect victims? And is there anything that could be added to it?
This is a really important and positive development. There is a law commission within Canada that has been advocating that different provinces introduce this type of law for several years, and this is one of the most important ones coming out of BC. It's going to make legal options to actually take down intimate images or videos about people much faster, much easier through an administrative tribunal instead of having to go to court. It's going to require internet platforms to cooperate with that. And importantly, is going to actually allow minors to bring these applications themselves. So when you have youth who may not want to talk to their parents about this type of extortion or these types of threats, they're able to go there and actually get relief, even when the publication is only threatened and hasn't happened yet.
Sounds like an important piece of legislation. We've got just about 30 seconds left here, but for our viewers across the country, what are some legal rights that all Canadians should know about when it comes to the potential distribution of their intimate images?
Well, I think it's important for everyone to understand that if you choose to share a video or an image that's intimate with one person, you don't lose all privacy rights over that. So you are still able to sort of regain your privacy and take action against individuals who republish that further. And then also important just to think if you are keeping this type of material for yourself, where you store it, and trying to prevent storing it, maybe in public places that are vulnerable to being breached. Some cloud services that are less secure, so that you can sort of engage in this type of communication if you want to, without necessarily being vulnerable to people actually extorting you because of it.
Ms. Reynolds, thank you again for an insightful interview.
Thank you.